All right, joining me now on Inside the Tournament. She's won at the highest level, including most recently a TST championship. Allie Krieger, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here and to be back with you and to talk all things soccer and the experience. So thanks so much for having me.
Of course, I was looking forward to this. You were the first guest that I booked for kind of this kickoff year of TST content. So I'm excited to
Amazing.
get to talk.
Amazing.
We'll talk TST and all that stuff. But first up, you have a little different career right now than you did, a year ago at this time. So you're with Gotham. What's new there, and are you liking that new role?
Yes, I'm with Gotham. I signed on as an ambassador this year. I was so honored to take this role because I feel now I'm back on the team to an extent. I feel a little bit closer to the team and to the girls and obviously the coaching staff, but also taking it a step further and into the front office and connecting, the community to the team and to the organization and just get people in the seats and get people aware of the incredible club that we have here and hopefully, help it become one of the best clubs, if not the best club in the world. And so this role is just, really exciting. Any speaking engagements or events that I go to, I make sure that I talk about Gotham and I make sure to talk about all the quality players we have and what we're, trying to progress in the future for this club and to really get this resources and accommodations and just make people aware that we even have a football team here and a women's soccer team here and in New York, New Jersey. So that's the main goal and just to get more investment. So now instead of working, on the field, I have a lot more time now to work off the field. And so I'm really excited about the role.
Are you getting the itch at all? Are you looking at practice and being like, you know what, maybe I could get out there? Or are you saving that for TST?
I think a little bit of both. I feel like I miss the game so much, honestly. Like I know it was my time to go, but it's okay to miss it, and I miss it every day. And now I'm just playing pickup and enjoying that and going to the gym. But it's been really fun to get back out on the field, and I'm going to save a lot of my energy for TST. And I'm going to be much more prepared this year, and I hope that we can have somewhat of a small little training camp beforehand, like I heard other teams have, so that we're ready to go again. But no, I'm excited to get back out on the field. I definitely miss it. I kind of have an itch. But I then start to run around and, I start to feel muscles that I don't think I've ever felt before. But no, this is going to be exciting, to think about TST again and start prepping for that. But, I don't mind my seat on the sidelines for right now.
Well, that's great to hear. I'm sure it's a little easier when, the first thing you did back on the pitch after, retiring from the NWSL was winning $1 million with US Women. So I kind of want to start there. Like when you committed to play, what was your knowledge of the event and what were your expectations? And then we'll go to obviously how you feel now. But that initial moment when you were like, I'm in, where was your head at?
I didn't even think twice because if Hale asked me to do something and to participate in a tournament and play football, like with her again, that was a no-brainer. And then I was like, okay, what actually am I getting myself into? And so I don't think I had a lot of knowledge of the tournament except from the previous year, and I knew it was 77, and I had watched it from afar, obviously still playing with Gotham at the time, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like so much fun, and it actually looks super intense because that was when obviously the men were playing against the women, and at times I felt bad watching the score line. And then I felt good and positive for the team because I was like, this is so enjoyable for a lot of the, former players to get out and play again and just have some fun and try to win a tournament again. And in that atmosphere and environment, it looked incredible. So I was really excited about that. Now the expectation I think was a little bit different because when I showed up, I wasn't sure of the field size. I felt like it was a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And it's actually bigger than, when you get out there and you have to have you have to have a tactical plan. Like you have to have structure within the plan because it's just a different game. I didn't even feel like it was soccer at the time. I was like, this is a completely different setup. This is a completely different game. I played 11v11s my whole life and now I'm having to do 77. Yeah, we do it in training, but it's maybe on a bigger size field. And so that was definitely an adjustment for me. I was gassed too. I don't think I obviously ran as much as I should have or prepped as much as I should have, fitness wise, before the tournament. But other than that, like I had the most fun because it was such quick transitions, and obviously the time is a lot shorter, and the substitutions were just fast paced. So you just have to get on, bust your butt for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, and then you got to get out. And so that was also really exciting, to do, because you could like have some times to rest. So I knew the rest was coming. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just do what I can here and then get out and rest a little bit. But I think the setup was awesome. I think the fan base was great. I think just having the night games were really cool. I think the 12 o'clock game in the afternoon really had me hurting because it was just so hot. But the environment and the setup and just the idea of the tournament is going to attract so many more teams this year, and I'm sure for years to come. And it was just exciting. I think it was just a different way to play soccer, and to play with a lot of my former teammates was incredible. And I think that's what I took away from the experience the most. Like I just enjoyed being out on the field next to them again.
That's great. I talked to Talia a few
Hmm.
days ago, and she was like, it started off that I was like, I couldn't believe that I was playing with Heather and Allie, and then it changed to like, okay, now we're playing together, but now my mindset is not I'm starstruck. It's I want to win this thing. So how quickly into TST did your mindset flip from like this is so cool, I love playing with Heather again, to like, oh wait, no, we have an actual chance to like win this $1 million?
I think right off the bat, obviously, when we show up, we're going to show out and roll our sleeves up and get after it. We don't want to lose anything. We're addicted to winning and we're so competitive. And when the time comes, we're actually like we can laugh and have fun, but like we're actually very serious about it. And we've always been that way. I don't think we would have made it this far in our careers if we weren't that way. So I think just having the pressure of actually showing up and playing well, it turned on really quickly, especially against the Canadian futsal team that we played against the very first game. I was shook that they were actually, giving it to us. They were very good. I mean, just technical ability, skillful. They had their tactics like laid out. They had a game plan. The substitutions were phenomenal, and we were just like, okay, what's going on? And so I guess like the level, I don't know if I was expecting it to be that, and not that it's like better or worse, it's just different. And so I was immediately I had to like roll my sleeves up and say, okay, like now we gotta buckle in because this is serious and like I'm not losing this thing. I came all the way here, I brought my kids, my family, like we're not losing this, and I'm obviously playing with former teammates. I'm like, we can't lose. Like this is and then I just came off of a championship win with Gotham. I'm like, I don't want to like now, throw in the towel. So I might as well show up. But I think it was right from the beginning. And also I can see how Talia was a little bit, excited to play alongside, some of the players maybe that she's watched for a long time, at the highest level. But I could see it change and adjust the mentality. I think probably after the second game when we won that night, that Friday night, and I think their mentality then was like, oh, okay, they're normal human beings and they just want to win this thing just like us, and they just want to play well and have fun. So I'm signed up and let's just get after it. So I think that is when I noticed a lot of the other players kind of shift their mentality because we lost. I was like, okay, we actually need to like show up this game and really take it a lot more serious. Not that we didn't, but it was just kind of maybe a more relaxed vibe at the first game.
Yeah, which totally makes sense. I mean, year one, there was only one goal scored by the U.S. women in the whole, in their three group play games. So
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden, it was like they have, you guys have your own tournament. It's going to be incredible. And not only were a lot of goals scored, there was target score time goals. There were million
Yep.
dollar goals. What did you think of target score time? And then, of course, that $1 million moment.
Target score time was making me so anxious and nervous because people start leaving the field and then the field all of a sudden gets even bigger and then you could go down 2v2 or 1v1 and you just didn't know. I loved it because it forced you to play even better. It forced you to connect passes, and it forced you to actually focus even more because you just wanted to score quick so that we wouldn't get down to a 1v1 situation. Um, and so I think that was like so exciting. And also for the fans, it's exciting, just to see that type of environment play out on the field. So I love that about this game. And it just makes you automatically like focus more on your mentality shifts a little bit in that time period. And then wait, what was the second question that you had asked? Sorry.
I should have just done one at a time.
That's
The
okay.
$1 million goal. I mean, how
Oh
crazy
yeah.
is that? That I mean, it just elevates the target score time even more, obviously. But for you,
Right.
I mean, Talia told me she was mad at me that we blew up that picture of her crying 100 times. But for you, like, there's that great picture of you and Heather,
Yeah.
screaming and hugging. Like, how
Yeah.
awesome was that?
That was incredible. That was such a cool moment because it felt like, I mean, we obviously won again. We won a tournament again together. We won, the $1 million. It was just so exciting. This is so much fun. And yes, we were laughing and joking and enjoying our time and playing good soccer. But then at the end of the day, you want to win with your friends. You want to win again together. And I think that was just, and the work that she put into and just everyone was just willing to follow her and be bought into the idea of what she was creating with the team and the mentality, the principles, and all the things that the coaches also instilled in us in that short period of time. And we all just grabbed onto it and bought into this idea of winning and coming out as champions. And to execute that plan in 3 days was so awesome. And it was nerve wracking. It was like teams were really good. Teams were good. They were put together and they had a plan. They had principles and an identity. And we just, we did too by the end of that, experience in that game. But that moment, I think, just solidified obviously the whole tournament for us, where we started out kind of, a little bit just we needed to discover what was what the other teams were about, kind of like who our identity was and how we were going to come out and have a game plan. I think everything shifted after that first game when we lost. So the meaning of that goal kind of wrapped up and tied a bow on the whole team and experience that we had and shared together. And I was excited for Heo because I know how much she wants to win and how much she wants this tournament to be fun and enjoyable for everyone and challenging and all the good things. And so all the work that she put in, I was just excited to, go up and congratulate her also personally.
Yeah, I mean, she's been great, a great, face of the
Hmm.
event and just awesome to talk
Hmm.
to and hang out with at the event and
Hmm.
great marketer as well. What I
Yeah.
thought was so great about you all winning was you didn't win that first game like you mentioned. It's not like you were
Hmm.
blowing teams out. Sometimes it's like, oh, of course the US women won. It's the US women, former national team players. They are expected to win. They want it. Not that you weren't expected to win with the names you had in the roster, but it did feel like you had to, you said roll your sleeves up, buckle in, and win. And that's what we thought was so great. Changing gears a little bit, I always find it funny at events like TST, and we have a basketball one as well. Certain
Hmm.
people get starstruck by certain others. Like we have a couple photographers and videographers that work, in the NFL, they work for the
Yeah.
MLS, they work for the NWSL, and they're like, "Oh my God, Ali Krieger's here." So my question to you is like, who were the people that you were obviously not starstruck? You've been everywhere, done everything, but who were the people at TST that you were like, not I can't believe it because I'm starstruck, but like I just don't really believe that this person's here. This is so cool.
I think Aguero, honestly, and Nani. I think obviously I played in Orlando City when Nani was playing there, which I thought was so amazing. He always come up and be so kind and gentle and just a real stand-up guy and so supportive. And that was really cool to see him in action. Again, I didn't get to say hi, but I saw him in that. I think it was one of the quarterfinal games or semifinal games, and we were still there. And that was really cool to see that he got all the way to the final and was successful there. Obviously didn't win, but successful in the sense that, he put a team together almost last minute, it felt like, and then ended up getting into the final. And that was really cool to see. And then Aguero, he was in our hotel and I saw like, a lot of the Argentinian players and I was just like, wow, I didn't realize that he was, gonna like actually be close enough to like say hi to. Um, I think it just kind of did like a head nod and a smile type vibe. Like maybe we just like knew of each other, but um, that was nice to like see him there and see him participate. I know obviously they didn't have much success in the tournament, but it's just really cool to see the visibility that a lot of these young fans and players can kind of see that he's also there enjoying himself and just having fun. And that was really cool for me, I think.
That yeah, I mean we were blown away with the interactions that Aguero had. Like in, I'm sure you saw it in Athletes Village. He was getting like mobbed and mauled by the other players, which was not
Yeah,
an expectation. It was similar to you that first day
yeah,
when I was
yeah,
trying to interview you. All the other women's teams were coming down and
yeah,
asking you for pictures, so that was really cool
yeah,
for us to
yeah.
see.
That was awesome.
But so, Heather went out and got you for year
Right.
two. Who are you going to go and recruit and bring to this dream team? Because we know about the potential free agents that are in the world. So maybe who's someone that you like think is a realistic option? And then who are some people that are like your dream Allie Krieger US women ads?
I don't know. Do they have to have played on the US team? That's the question. I know a
No.
lot of these younger kids haven't. Then I would say, I mean, of course, I'm going to beg Megan Rapinoe because the last time we played, it didn't go so well. So I want her to have like a second chance at that. And then also, she's one of my best friends. So I would love to play alongside her again. Um, I think like a Merritt Mathias would be really cool to have participate. I would say Sydney, but then she just signed 3 years. I didn't know that that was going to happen. I was so pumped. Kelly O'Hara, I really want to try, but I know she's, obviously had to end her career because of injury. But like a Caroline Sager, or like a Jenny Maroshan, um, some of those players who I played with overseas would be amazing. If Marta retires this year, I'm sure she'd probably put a team together from Brazil, but if not, then there might be room for her as well. I would have asked Alex, but she'll obviously be busy giving birth to her second child, which is incredible. Um, so I'll see. We'll see how Carly Lloyd this time, return to play after her pregnancy. We'll see if she's up for the task.
Who are some of the national team youngins that, for various reasons would maybe not be able to play in TST at the moment, but you're a fan of and you like watching them play and think their game would translate well to the seven-a-side game?
I mean, any of our young players, honestly, they're also skillful and technical. Um, I mean, they're going to be busy with the national team, but if not, maybe even like Ashley Sanchez or even anybody who's on like um, the bubble, so to speak. Johannes, who plays for Ajax now, who's only 16 or 17. She's coming into the national team. Um, yeah, if they're not called in, then maybe we can make some space. Um, yeah, I can't wait for a lot of them to kind of, oh, maybe Becky Sauerbrunn too. I know she's not young, but I forgot that maybe she's available. We'll see what happens this year with her. I'm sure she's going to sign on another year or two with Portland, but if not, I'll try to get her in. Um, I don't know. I think anyone who's kind of, on the bubble with the national team and just wants to come have fun and play this summer. But Tessa and, Talia and all those players that were there, like, they need to come back because they were amazing.
Yeah, it was great to see. All right, before I get you out of here, we talked TST a lot. Your career has taken you to incredible heights. What's been like a moment to you that stuck out where you've kind of stepped back and been like, okay, I've been playing soccer for a while, but this is truly like awesome.
In my career,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many moments I think that I could go back and say, but I think two main moments for me will never be beat. I think fighting for equal pay alongside, these badass women, and now changing the game forever. I'm so proud of. That was just a monumental moment, historical moment for us. And then building lifelong friendships with these women who you go through like really tough times, really great times, really exciting times, but you can never explain to anyone who hasn't actually been there what it really means and what how much you endure and together. And so I think just winning championships along these women after going through really, really tough times on the national team and in club, that's yeah, you can't really put it into words. And just like the locker room vibes. So I'll always remember that. So those two main things. And then now just being friends with a lot of my former teammates, like they're my best friends today and they will for life. So that's something that's so positive that I look back on my career and can really be proud of.
I won't tell anyone. Do you have a favorite championship?
Probably TST. No.
No, that's a great
TST
answer.
is up there.
Cut the interview. Cut the interview there.
TST for sure. Definitely TST.
No, that's great. All right. Last question for you. Favorite country or city that you've been to, but because of soccer. So not like my family and I, we went to
Yeah.
Greece. Like you had a game or a tournament like World Cup or weekend. So favorite
Yeah.
country or city that soccer brought you to.
Germany, hands down, because I obviously went there after college in 2007 and played till 2012 there. Had 5.5 great years with FSC Frankfurt. Now they're affiliated with Eintracht Frankfurt, but it was an incredible experience for me. I gained so many tools in order to play at the highest level. Also, I was still there during the World Cup in 2011 when we played in Frankfurt and we won. Or sorry, we lost actually to Japan, but we had gotten to the final. And a couple years before that, I had played in the Champions League in the Frankfurt Stadium and we won. So I have great memories in Germany, and just to have my first World Cup be in the place that I would call my second home was really incredible. And the Germans love their football, and the atmospheres were always amazing at the games, and just the hardcore support. Um, but yeah, I have a soft spot in my heart for that country, and I miss it a lot.
So were you rooting for Bayern and Dortmund on the men's side?
I was. Yes, I was. I was. I really was. But I would watch both of them play, and especially when Jurgen Klopp was there coaching Dortmund at the time when I was playing in Frankfurt, I was just in awe. I was like, oh my gosh. And then seeing his career, kind of blossom into the EPL and then now obviously doing other things. But I was always so excited to watch Dortmund play because of him as well.
Well, as a send off, do you have a message to the women or other players out there that think they have what it takes to dethrone the U.S. women?
Good luck. And you know what? You can just bring it.
That's great. That's great stuff. Allie, appreciate the time.
Mhm.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
on. See you soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I can't wait till next year.